Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Windus Andar. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you this evening on another edition of Andar Place. I hope you guys are doing very, very well. And today we are going to play on something for 30 Path of Exile 2. So we managed to get like early access. We purchased the supporter pack and we've been playing for quite some time. Now, for the channel, I plan on starting a new build because I've already made a level 74 warrior who's been doing pretty great. But for this particular playthrough, as an introduction, I thought I'll show you guys how cool Path of Exile 2 is, how well it plays, etc. for 30 minutes. Let's just go have some fun. And then I will play a brand new character and show you all the cool things the game has to offer, and also some skill building of a character and how cool it gets over time. Oh wow! Look at those effects. I love it. I love how cool this game is. Okay, I just managed the audio a little bit. Look at the graphics though. Very nice. So I'm playing a warrior, and this warrior has spec'd into a titan, which basically means that I use two-hand weapons. Allow me to just take care of this before I start talking. Okay, we managed to clear everything. Look at those carcasses and stuff. Very cool. There's a little bit of a skill there to create some room so that we can talk. Yeah, so Path of Exile 2 comes with updated graphics, updated hardware support and everything. You know, better engine code. A completely different kind of playing style as well. You would notice that I'm tumbling about. Dodging in this game has become very important. That's why I call this game essentially Path of Elden, because that's what it is. So it plays like Elden Ring in that you have to dodge your enemy's attacks and then hurt them really badly in turn. Enemies can and will one-shot you many times if you're not careful. If you take hits, you can lose your life. You have your life and energy shield, just like in Path of Exile 1, that protects you from damage, but there is a hard limit to how much it can protect you, especially in Path of Exile 2, which is less about stacking defense and more about simply avoiding the hurt that monsters are putting out against you. You have your garden variety chests that you open up to loot. They offer you items, gold, which has been added to this game. So that's another difference from Path of Exile 1. Path of Exile 2 actually has gold. It's a currency that you use to buy, sell, and also gamble, which is important in getting updated equipment for your character. Okay, we got rid of all of them. You have a whole bunch of skills that you can take control of and then utilize against your enemies, who are, by the way, Legion. The projectiles, the graphics all look absolutely amazing. The skill that I use there is called Sunda, which is an AoE slam attack. So the warrior essentially specializes in slamming his enemies to glory. Hopefully, we'll be able to level up in the 30 minutes that we play. I'll show you guys all of the cool stuff that, you know, a warrior can do. I decided that the warrior would be the easiest to play in a dodging type style game because you have the energy, the life, to keep you alive as you go through the game, you know? Whereas every other class without sufficient life investment would be sorely lacking in its ability to withstand continuous and terrifying sets of enemies coming at them. But then I feel one of the biggest challenges with Path of Exile is you have very little reason not to invest in strength in your character. So every character has three attributes: strength, dexterity, and intelligence. Intelligence gives you mana, and dexterity gives you accuracy rating, and strength gives you life. Now, while intelligence would be required for spellcasting dexterity for projectiles and evasion type builds, there is very little reason not to have a decent amount of strength because it ultimately dictates how much life you have. I think we have reached the boss room. Is the boss just sitting there? Hello, sir. Hi. I'll start off with my big ass hammer skill. And we should have him done. There we go. My build is very strong. He's very, very, very good against pretty much anything that the game has been throwing at him so far. But yeah, when I make a build with a witch or a sorceress or something, I'll see if I can show you guys. If we can come up with a nice way, a nice character that will be very, very effective. But my warrior has been doing very well in this game. I've completed the campaign map. The campaign map basically looks like this. This is the Act 1 map. This one is Act 2. So in early access, you basically have 1, 2, and finally Act 3. That same Act 3 is then repeated 3 more times in the Cruel difficulty, which you can see highlighted with a red bloody color. Eventually, I think the game will basically have 9 acts, 3 per difficulty, so it'll be like Standard, Cruel, and Merciless or Death. You can see how cool the textures look, how beautiful the map looks. It's very, very good. Once you have finished both difficulties of the campaign, you then come to the Atlas, where you conquer maps and then, capture towers and stuff. So I'm basically here. It's a very flexible system so far, and the game is in a pretty good place, even though it is early access. Grinding Gear Games, GGG, is doing a very good job addressing bugs and everything. Of course, people have complaints, but many people I have noticed don't seem to understand that early access literally means that they are bug fixing. GGG did not put out a game with an early access tag just to prevent criticism. This is actually early access. If you pay for the game right now, if you pay and buy a $30 support pack, you get to participate in early access, which basically means the game does have bugs and they will be patching in and adding in content and fixing things and all that. So as a player, if you decide not to play for free but to support the development, you got to know what you're buying is an early access game. You're not buying a full-fledged game with all the content that's going to be in the game. I'll tell you guys what all that is about before the video ends, but let's go ahead and continue killing some enemies. Meanwhile. That takes care of him. In the maps, as you fight corruption, make sure that after you kill a boss, you get out of the way. If you don't get out of the way, that same boss is going to rip your head apart with a final explosion. Hello! Yeah, most of my build is focused on area of effect, so a lot of what I'm doing is getting maximum area of effect attacks away. I already have a pretty decent AoE. This game, I think the game has done itself a bit of a disservice with smaller zones, especially for tougher enemies. Most of the time when you meet a tougher enemy, it's not like in a sprawling open battle zone where you would be using a massive area of effect. Most of the time, with a slight boost to area of effect attacks, you can influence the entire battle zone where a boss is. Like this tiny area, right? So if I jump up here, so you can see how big my area of effect radius is. It kind of goes from here all the way to here, and that crosses even the entire map zone where I'm standing. So I'll just show you what that does. Yeah, so it affects every enemy in that battle zone. Same way for the weapons that I'm carrying, everything is geared towards area of effect. And that's how I built my character.
Hammer of the gods!
That is, in fact, a cool skill that you can use to get to kill your enemy. Get out of the way before the boss exploding kills me off. Alright, let's pick up all the stuff we need. I like to finish exploring my maps entirely because it's monsters and experience on your way to level 99. Alright, that's it. I think the map is pretty much done. Use your WASD arrow keys to look around. Yeah, map is done. We can go back home. Let's create a portal to town. Once the portal is done, get in there and you're done. So, Path of Exile 2, in my opinion, compared to Path of Exile 1, is slower paced. Yes, you can make builds like mine that just wipe out the whole room in just one hit. You can do that. But overall, the game definitely is much slower paced than Path of Exile 2 because you have to dodge enemies, you have to be careful about your survival. You are pretty squishy, like you would expect to be against dinosaurs and mutated freako monsters. So it's not like you can just take 20 hits from a monster and survive until your build is, completed in its entirety. So we're going to use the salvage bench to get components, salvage equipment that we do not need, which is quite a lot of it. Salvaging gives you currency, and in fact, another big difference between Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2 is that currency drop rates are pretty liberal and, yeah, it's quite generous. Grinding Gear Games wanted players to craft and craft a lot. All my equipment that I have on my character, which I will show you towards the end of the video, is crafted. All of it is crafted. I'm not joking. All of it is, yeah, entirely crafted. So you basically disenchant, break down your equipment in order to get the crafting components. You can store them, whether it's runes, gems, whatever you're going to be using. Currency as well. I do have a currency stash tab. So your stash tabs and some microtransactions from Path of Exile 1 do carry over to Path of Exile 2. I think that was really nice of GGG to do that. I think they are having some trouble with Sony or something like that in getting a lot of the other cosmetics ported over. But anyway, they're dealing with that sort of thing, which we're not going to bother speculating about. But we do have our tabs with a lot of currency. You have your armor enhancements, your metal weapon, martial weapon enhancements, identification scrolls. There is no scroll of town portal because we have an auto portal skill. You have your socketing orbs, which is actually new in Path of Exile, in that you can make sockets in your weapons and input runes inside it. You have wand, staff, and scepters, all of which require etching orbs, arcanist etchers to improve in quality. You have your alchemy orbs, augmentation, transmutation, and wild orbs, and all of those old orbs are back, and you have new currencies as well. So we're actually doing pretty well. In terms of our character build, we are almost all the way to level 75. I hope to show you guys a level up, at least to make this video look really cool. So let's go ahead and choose another place to go. We finished the crypt. I'm actually making my way towards you. Yeah, that's where I'm going. I don't think I can open you up immediately, right? Oh, I can. I've actually made my way all the way here. Okay, let's go open up this tower. I will go ahead and put in a 3. Or let's not do a 3. In fact, let's do a 5, because why the hell not? Let's do a tier 5 map. What are tier 5 maps? Basically, in Path of Exile 2, the maps are highly modifiable. You can decide what tier your maps are, which ultimately decide the monster level using base stones. So, yeah, it's not like a specific tier map drops from monsters. What you get are base stones that you can use anywhere on the atlas to give a map a particular tier. That sounds complicated, but it actually allows for a lot of experimentation and possibilities straight from the get-go. So if you want to rush levels, you can do that by really pushing the tier of your maps right from the get-go and taking as much experience as you can. You can also use low-level waystones, low-tier waystones to use simpler maps to conquer a lot of the Atlas. Take over lost towers like this and really boost the experience that the other maps then grant you. So I've already been doing that for quite some time, so I'm not going to make a big fuss about it. I'm just gonna go right ahead and kill everybody. You can see that I'm actually pretty strong. So if you look at my hit, it's basically almost 20,000 DPS at max buffs. I got a pretty strong build over here. I'm just gonna allow those orbs to explode. What amazing graphics! I like how pretty everything is in Path of Exile. Gotta say. Okay, so we got to 90%. We may actually be able to level up. God willing. We'll see how it goes. I was hoping to, like, nuke them before I even enter the room, but... yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. Okay. Wow, that's nice. Okay, so we actually got to the end of the map before we even cleared 1/4 of the map. So that's okay, that happens. So what you got to do is you got to reach these precursor towers, which are very cool. So let me show you what happens. You hit this beacon, and there's like a cool wave of light that comes out. What's this? Cool, huh? So once you've unlocked this precursor tower, all the maps around it. So if you go to the world map, all the areas around it, all of these nodes will be affected by this one tower. So once you return to the refuge, you can slot one of these tablets in there, and then you will affect the entire map, which is like really, really cool. And you can buff your maps up big time that way with tons of experience bonuses, item bonuses, drop bonuses, whatever bonuses, and also curses you want. Make it as difficult as you want, as easy as you want as well. And yes, it is actually quite possible to do maps with literally 0 mods, 0 towers. Just do all the nodes with simple waypoints and stuff. Don't buff any of the towers that you capture and just go easy mode. That's perfectly fine too. It is doable. Don't let anybody tell you it is not a viable lifestyle, playstyle, because it is. So another big change in Path of Exile 2 is the fact that you get exactly 1 life flask and 1 mana flask. Vendors as well as monsters drop a lot of flasks, but regardless of what they drop, you're carrying exactly 1 flask each. So make sure that you get a flask that allows you instant recovery, if possible for mana as well, if mana is your thing. Otherwise, at least for life, have instant recovery as much as possible. If not entirely, but at least in my case, like 28%. If you can get a better flask with 50, 60, or even full 100% instant recovery, that would be amazing for you. There we go. New king complete. Like I said, dodging is a big thing in this game. Even in the end game, you're going to be dodging some enemies simply because your build is counterbalanced by the attacks of those enemies. So you would notice in my resistances, if I showed you here, I've got fire and lightning resistances pretty high, but I don't have cold and chaos. So when I get hit by cold and chaos spells, I need to kind of dodge a little bit or I'm going to suffer for it. However, the good news is, much like Elden Ring, zones have specific types of enemies. So I've noticed that all of the Lost Tower enemies in almost all the Lost Towers so far use cold magic and also chaos skills. So when you're going for the Lost Towers, you can actually buff up your Chaos and Cold resistance, and you would have a very easy time of it. Right, we're almost leveled up as well. Okay, watch for the cool yellow glow that kind of comes up when you level up. Oh, I died. Damn! I should have retreated. Yes, there is an EXP penalty. We came so close. We came so close. Okay, so the EXP penalty does apply. I found that the EXP penalty applied after level 70. I'm not sure what the criterion for that are, but it doesn't apply before that. Anyway, we finished the Lost Towers, so technically we can't go back and play the map. We did win and capture it, but we did not clear it. So I'm going to put in a precursor tablet, which improves quantity of items, and also irradiated modifier, which increases the monster level, and also there is a chance to contain essence in the map. So we're going to influence it. Now you would notice that these radii that you see here, these circles, within their radius, all the maps are modded. So if you look over here, if you check a node that we haven't completed so far, you will find that they contain all the mods from all the towers that influence their radius. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one. If you mouse over the information, the map legend tells you exactly what each icon represents. So we have a breach, we have an expedition. We also have a +1 bonus level to the mobs. So the mobs are, if it's 69, they're going to be 70. So this one leads to what? The next tower is like way over there. I don't see anything here. Yeah. I don't see anything in this area, so I'll have to basically move this way. Okay, let's do this. I will go ahead and set in shock ground, and let's see how well that goes. We are basically doing a Waystone Part 4, which means the monster level will be 69 and then +1 because of the mods. Which is good because that means you get experience, and we just lost 10% because we were too dumb. Alright, we got that guy. Get out of the way. Okay, this is a shrine. We're gonna go get that shrine, and we get cold damage and freezing shards go all over the place. Yeah. Sounds like a great idea, thanks. Of course it ruins my visibility, but thank you. Now my build is actually quite good that I can one-tap everything. I do not like this blessing, because I can't see properly.
Face me!
Alright, we're making good time. We got most of the EXP back that we lost as well. We should be able to level up in short order. Okay, that blessing is done and I can actually see again, which is very cool. Always roll, always clear, do not stand in one place and get hit. If you do, you will be affected by ground effects, which will then eventually kill you, just like in Path of Exile 1, although this time you can actually see what's trying to kill you, but still, be careful. Oh, I didn't even see you. And the map is completed. So when you kill the boss, or when you reach the final objective of the map is finished. It doesn't matter if you clear the map or you complete a certain percentage of it or anything. None of that seems to matter so far as I've seen. You just kill the boss and you're done. So that is also a viable strategy to play maps. If you're not all that interested, in the maps, but you just want specific challenges and stuff, that is another thing you can do, which is just rush the map boss. In case you're wondering how I'm able to clear the map so quickly, I will explain that towards the end of the video. I'll go about my build and show you why this warrior is as effective as he is. Like I said before, the equipment that I'm using is entirely manually crafted. I didn't actually purchase anything from the trade site, although there is a trade site and currency trading in-game. I haven't actually traded a single thing with anybody. But everything I have is manually crafted. Okay, we got that. Yeah, we're almost leveled up. We got all our EXP back, thank God. I'm actually doing physical as well as fire damage, which is basically why you see all the flames as I, connect with the mobs. Hello, sir. Yeah, so expeditions from Path of Exile 1, the league content has made its way back into Path of Exile 2. You set the bombs, then you go fight like crazy. Of course, I have found that these expedition monstrosities are significantly harder in Path of Exile 2 than they were in Path of Exile 1. Maybe that's because at the time that I tried it, my damage wasn't so high. It was like 5-6k. Now I got like 12, like almost 20,000 damage at max power. But still, I feel like for most people, expeditions would not be the same. If you're coming from Path of Exile 1, you would definitely play expeditions and go, wait a minute, this is way harder than I remember it. And you would be correct for the most part. But you gotta be careful about which monsters you pick. Because in this game, like I said, if the monsters tag you, dying is... yeah, it's a thing that's gonna happen. So be careful which ones. Like, don't take this note if it says monster damage increased. You don't want to fight those. Cannot be critical hits might be fine, but you don't want this damage increase, right? So set the explosives. Monster hits can't be evaded. I don't care. I mean, I've got the damage for it. It's not a problem. Monster hits can't be evaded. Yeah, that's gonna be fine. So we're basically gonna go. Do we have anything else? Yeah, this is all damage, damage, damage. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna run the heck away.
Hammer of the gods!
I kind of missed with that. I was expecting a bit too much. Yeah, I'm gonna be very careful because I don't want to lose, my level up. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen. I'm pretty strong now. Okay, gonna take the sun artifact. Yeah, I love the Hammer of the Gods. That ultimate skill is heaven. Nice! We leveled up, boys. Be careful of enemies using professional skills, just like you use it. They can too, and they will use it to absolute glory. They do a lot of damage as well, unless you're well prepared to tank that damage, Salamwana warrior! Yeah, I think we opened up the right nodes. That's why we didn't take much damage this time. Already got like 2% XP. That is very good. You can evade most hits. So make sure that you become comfortable, if not master the art of rolling out of rolling and rolling frequently. You know, you're not just rolling, you kind of make it your second nature to just move around and roll as much as you can. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, I don't need that. Let's talk to Danny.
I knew I'd find you here. You've made it this far. Clearly you must have some talent. Care to lend your skills to a matter of honor?
Do I have a choice?
Farewell.
We must.
Hail.
Oh,
We are on a grand quest through time. We'll have to save the explanations for another time, however. All I can say is we purposefully came back to this city, Utsal, before our ancestors arrived on Rayclast. Will arrive on Rayclast, I mean. We've got less than a year to achieve our aims. We have to be gone before they get here, or my historical sagas will get very complicated very quickly.
okay. Well, I don't know how I'm going to help you specifically, but I assume as I keep doing the map, they're going to tell me what it is. Okay, so we leveled up, right? We'll allocate the skins after we are done with this particular map. I have a lot of monsters to kill. Let's see how much XP I can collect. Let's kill these guys quickly. I think there is a breach. Very cool. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. We have a whole bunch of things, right? We had expedition and a breach and leveled up monsters as well. So let's open up the breach. And I'm dead. That was tough. Who is this guy? I can't actually. Hold on. Trying to get him. No, 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 no. There was a. That guy. Mean Stalker the Damned. Okay, there was a rare monster right there. Okay, doesn't matter. One thing that's different from Path of Exile 1 in Path of Exile 2 is if you die, you lose that particular waystone to the map. Okay? So you can actually notice the portals are gone. So if you die, the portal is gone. So if you finished that particular node, it's completed. Otherwise, you have to click on the node, then insert a separate waystone like this and traverse the map again, as in it's a complete reset. And one thing I did notice is if you're getting bonuses like this, 5% increased XP, etc., from your towers, if you fail that particular run, those bonuses are gone. So when you do the map again the second time, you lose those bonuses. Just keep that in mind when you're playing the game. You know, don't make it so hard on yourself that you lose the bonuses, or at least finish the map so it's not like a complete loss. Okay, so we got all this done. I want to like get these towers as well. So one of the strategies before I go to my character in the closing moments of this video, one of the strategies you can use is use Waystone ones. I have Waystone tier 2 in my inventory, but you get a lot of Waystone tier 1. You can use Waystone tier 1 to make a beeline for all these towers. So for example, you do DK, then you do Mire, right? And then you do Augury and you open up this tower. Then all of these other nodes, the 610 nodes or whatever you see around here, will all be affected by this tower. Then make another beeline for the next tower, etc. You can do the towers quickly using tier 1 maps so that you can get a lot of the towers unlocked, pile up, accrue the EXP modifiers on your precursor tablets, and then just, you know, take advantage of the huge EXP bonuses. Don't die like I just did. Okay. So very quickly, let's go ahead and salvage a bunch of things that I no longer... Whoa, this is level 70? Yeah, but I've got a lot of this, you know, resists that I need. Level 70 equipment. Cool, dude. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. This is level 59. I already have some amazing weapons, so I'm not too interested. Evasion armor, okay. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we're getting some high-level equipment now. So that's something to keep in mind as we keep going forward. I'll have to basically run more equipment manufacturing.
On with the work.
Alright. Let me store my currency quickly before I speak of bills and such. Okay.
Yes. Only take what is. Until next time.
Okay. So we're pretty much done. We stored everything. Just go in and use some transmutation orbs. Magic enhance these waystones so that. Oh, that becomes a bit dangerous, but that's okay. That's more EXP. We just have to make sure we don't die. That's the thing. All right. So I'll talk about my character. First of all, my character starts off as a warrior and then ascended to the Titan class. He's level 75. He's got amazing amounts of strength. He really did a lot of work in the labor of Hercules. So he's got 396 strength. He's got very little dexterity. He wasn't much for ballet dancing and flexi movement and gymnastics. Intelligence, he failed school. Now, in the beginning of this video, I did speak about how important it was to get some strength in every build. The reason for it is um, almost 780 to 800 of my life comes from the strength that I have. So this would be like 1200 is coming from the equipment and also the skills that I have allocated in the passive tree, but the rest of it is all from strength, right? That's where we're getting it from. Another stat that's new is Spirit. Spirit allows you to control certain skills that require reservation, run auras, etc. I'm using my 135 of 139 spirit points to run about three auras that are helping me. I have huge armor thanks to the armor equipment that I have. Then you have the four resists, of which my cold and chaos are a bit low. I haven't focused on life regeneration yet. I'm actually pondering whether to invest the last couple of levels that I get in life regeneration so that I'd be a very strong, powerful character who can recover from tough situations pretty quickly. I don't know if that is a way that I want to go. I'm also thinking about focusing on leech. I mean, there are a lot of things that we can do. So in terms of equipment, Path of Exile also now has charms, which are separate from your flasks. Charms are auto trigger equipment that activate when the conditions are met. So if I take lightning damage, it activates my lightning resistance. It boosts my lightning resistance over and above what I already have, and yeah, it saves your bum. You get many different charms that you can use according to the map in which you're going. So right now, if since I went into the lightning map, I should have put in lightning charm, which I did, and that's why I survived as long as I did. If I had gone into a cold map where all the monsters are using cold spells, I should have cold charms. The game says you will actually be able to put three charms, but for that, you have to unlock a belt with enough charm slots. I think I'll start getting that as I reach maybe level 80 or something and I keep playing. Now, one of the passives that we have, if we look in terms of our equipment, we actually carry two, not one, two two-handed maces. You would notice both of them are two-handed maces. And now the problem with this is the skill that allows me to do this also increases the strength requirement, the attribute requirement of the maces by three, not plus three, multiply by three, 300%. So right now, in order to put this mace on, I need at least 351 strength. Otherwise, I can't use it, which is why I have that obscene amount of strength that you saw earlier. So these maces give me amazing attack, and the reason I mainly use these maces and I haven't changed them to more updated, higher strength versions is because the cultist Great Hammer gives you splash damage. So I feel the warrior is really geared towards area damage, AoE splash damage, dealing with groups, not single targets. I mean, he can get off a big hit against single target enemies, but that's not what he's geared towards. He's geared towards clearing the screen with every hit that he makes, right? So I use this. It's got splash damage. I've got area of effect enhancements in my skill tree, and that's what's working over here. All my equipment is armor based. I am particularly proud of this suit of armor, which is amazing. I love it. I also have this nice helmet as well, which got pretty high armor points. Now, how did I forge this? That's where the currency for Path of Exile comes in. So I used a lot of currency, including some of the most expensive currency, which is Exalted Orbs. I feel the player base in the game has once again brought the Path of Exile 1 mentality to this game. They might have been better off being a little calmer and more objective when they approached this game in terms of economy, because I feel the currency items do drop often. Like most of the exalted orbs I have used, and I've used like 60 or 65 of the most expensive currency in game, most of them were just drops. I got them from monsters. About 15 exalted orbs I purchased from the market, but the rest of the 55, 58 orbs came from monster drops. Most of what I have here, including transmutation orbs, which is how you start crafting, followed by augmentation orbs, where you add one mod to the item, followed by regal orbs, which upgrade the magic item that you've crafted to a rare item, followed by four or five, as required, exalted orbs, which are not here right now. I'll show you what that is in the currency trading. If you go in here, this one, exalted orbs. So you use these like up to add up to a maximum of six mods to your weapon. And if you have a mod that you don't like or a bunch of mods that you don't like, you can risk using a chaos orb uh, in order to try and remove that mod and replace it with a good one. Doesn't mean you'll always get it. Chance orbs are changed in Path of Exile 2. They don't just upgrade an item to a random rarity. They either give you a unique item or they destroy the item that you have applied the orb to, which is very, very cool. Scourge orbs have now become the orbs of annulment, and you have, of course, Mirror of Kalandra for copying items. I've not got one yet. I assume once I reach level 90 higher in maps, I might get it. I don't know. So that's what you have, and you can craft all the currency in the world. So you can see all the currency that all the equipment that I have basically spent my time crafting, and I'm still crafting for updated weapons. So I'm actually trying these. This is a two-hand mace that I've actually added six mods to. Some I like, some I don't like. You can apply Chaos Orbs to try and fix that, and see if you get something that you really like. So what I'm looking for is +3, +4, +5 to melee skills, which really pumps up the damage that your skills are doing. So it's kind of nice to have that. I don't have that on my second weapon. I used to do with an older weapon that I had, but I got rid of it for the extra damage. I'm hoping to get that mod again in one of my weapons. I haven't got it yet. Same thing for armor. I'm actually forging armor over here to see if it's better than what I'm using right now. So there is a lot of experimentation that you can do. Even all of these amulets and rings and belts, I'm actually making them on the side, saving them for other characters and seeing what I can replace and what I can discard. So the crafting system, the way GGG has created this crafting system, it really encourages you to experiment, create your own equipment, which was difficult in Path of Exile 1, I'll say, because currency didn't drop anywhere near as much as it does in this game. And most of the time, new players would just go buy the equipment they wanted. They wouldn't spend time creating it. Whereas here, you're kind of incentivized to do that. Okay, so to add a socket to a weapon or an item, you right click on an artificer's orb. I'll show you the example here. You go to a weapon that you actually want to keep. Maybe, uh, yeah, 80% increase. Yeah, let's try this weapon. If I click the artificer's orb on it, a socket is created. Then you pick up a rune that you want to put in it. You go to equipment and you slot in the rune. And that is added as an implicit, I think it's called an implicit modifier. Anyway, that is added to the particular weapon. So you can see that right there. So it's leeching mana. So you got several runes that you collect over time. Runes have different effects on weapons and on armor. So that's something to remember. So my character is focusing on strength, melee damage, and also converting physical damage boosted to fire damage, which is where I get my obscene amounts of damage from. So my main hand physical damage is also added. A certain percentage of it is added, 25% as extra fire damage. So that's where all the flame explosions are coming from. Yeah, so there you have it. That's my warrior build. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick, something for 30 play of Path of Exile 2. If you do like the video, I'll be starting a new playthrough for Path of Exile with maybe a sorceress or a mercenary. I'll decide what the character is, and then we'll start a playthrough, and we will see how the game goes. And we'll actually have a lot of fun with those parts, and we'll see how we can craft a build that would be really, 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 really cool. But that being said, guys, my name is Windus Andar. I hope you guys have enjoyed this edition of Path of Exile 2 on Something for 30 and our place. If you do, like the video, subscribe, join our Patreon at pa.andarplace.com or patreon.com/andarplace. I'll just take this extra skill that I'm going for. Buffs my two-hand weapon damage, which is very cool. I'm going to finish off this tree over here and then possibly focus on physical damage and stuff going forward. But that being said, I'm going to stop here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. God bless.